Hey, what's up YouTube? You might be wondering why I have the Blizzard cinematic trailer for Dragonflight pulled up, and the reason being is that this game came out 10,000 years ago. Well, not really, but this is a cinematic trailer for the upcoming WoW expansion. It actually looks pretty nice. I wonder if these are going to be the graphics actually in the game, but my friends have recently asked me if I wanted to play Dragonflight at launch because they need a 5-man group. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me check out when this actually releases and when it's actually going to coincide with the PoE release schedule, because I kind of want to figure out, do I actually have the time? And I was actually incredibly shocked at the release date of Dragonflight. And the release date of Dragonflight, it doesn't show in this trailer, but the release date of Dragonflight is on November 28th, and that is actually going to be a huge problem if 3.20 is not delayed. And that got me thinking about it a little bit. I did ask a lot of people in my chat, and a lot of people actually do think that 3.20 might probably be delayed, especially given PoE's track record for trying to aim for a holiday release window. And also because they kind of want to avoid games. Now, I do know last time around during Arch Nemesis League, they were not able to delay the game because they already delayed it once for Elden Ring and Lost Ark. And it kind of led to Arch Nemesis being one of the worst performing expansion leagues ever. I mean, Arch Nemesis had a whole new Atlas passive tree. A lot of people were hyped about it. Now, Arch Nemesis League itself was not that great. I think most people could agree that the expansion was really good. The Atlas passive tree was really good. However, the Arch Nemesis League mechanic was really bad. And that's the same that goes for Ritual. Ritual was not that inspiring. So this game is released on November 28th, 2022. At this point, the release date has been confirmed. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to WoW. The nice part about WoW is it's kind of like a bi-yearly event. And I do think a lot of people play WoW. And a lot of people would choose WoW over PoE solely because it comes out every 2 years, and PoE is pretty much coming out every 3 months. So that brings us to the question, when is 3.20 actually releasing? Now, we can find out the day pretty easily just based on past history. GGG has actually been incredibly consistent with their release schedule. GGG is like a machine. They pump it out 12 weeks, 13 weeks, new league, 13 weeks, new league, 13 weeks, new league. Now, for the 4th league of the year, they usually have been delaying it for a month. Now, last time around, they needed the extra month to actually polish up the league for Arch Nemesis. Now, previously before, they actually delayed it for Cyberpunk, and I remember that was a huge fiasco. But Kalandra League was released on August 19th. So you can see here, August 19th release date. Now, GGG usually releases leagues every 12 to 13 weeks. So you can see here, May 13th, August 19th. So that's around like 12 to 13 weeks. Here again, February 4th, May 13th. And the league always comes out on Friday so that we have the weekend to play it. And then here we have the same thing, October 22nd. And this was the league that actually got delayed. And it was originally supposed to be around like December or January 1st. And I do think that GGG said they didn't want to release it during holiday time because they wouldn't be able to actually fix up the league or bug fix issues if it arose. So that's why they delayed it all the way to February. And at that point, it actually lined up with Lost Ark, which came out on February 10th. And then Elden Ring, which came out on, I think, the 22nd of February. But this means that if you go by previous history, 3.20 is on track for a November 25th release. And November 25th is going to be the Friday. Now, they could also do, I think, December 2nd. Let me go see. December 2nd would also be a Friday, so that could be another potential date. However, you can see here that the huge problem is either of those dates are literally going to line up going toe-to-toe with one of the games that have one of the biggest crossovers with PoE. Now, a lot of people might be saying, do actually that many people who play WoW actually play Path of Exile? And you would be surprised with the answer. World of Warcraft, I think, is the one game that I would put out there that has the highest crossover with PoE. And that's pretty much because everyone played World of Warcraft when they grew up. A lot of people who are ARPG fans are undoubtedly also World of Warcraft fans. In fact, two of our best players, Ben or Lighty and I'm Exile, are both avid WoW fans who actually raid in the World First Guild. And Quinn is also plays WoW. I've seen Matto play WoW in the past. So lots of people, I would dare say most of the people who play PoE have played WoW. Now, I know that Blizzard has been getting a lot of flack recently, and a lot of people think that WoW is not really going to be as popular this time around, this expansion. However, that's never really the case. I think every single WoW expansion has always had the hype going into it, and I don't think that Dragonflight will be any different. Maybe it won't be as crazy as the previous expansions, but you can bet your ass that there's going to be a lot of people playing it, and it's probably going to affect the player base numbers, especially if it's launching at the same time. Now, the last example we had of the WoW expansion launching, or something else similar to WoW, is WoW Classic back in Blight League. You will see here that Blight is at 74,930. Now, I do know a lot of people say that WoW Classic was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event. A lot of people actually really liked WoW Classic. And back then, people were addicted to the nostalgia. They didn't really know how bad WoW Classic actually was. It's kind of like if you have PoE Classic and you're like, oh, I want to play PoE Classic, but then you realize you don't have any stash tab affinities, you don't have lockstep, and the game just kind of sucks. So back then, nostalgia was a really strong thing, and people really wanted to try out WoW Classic, and that was pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Now, that's why Blight had so terrible numbers. Now, PoE did learn their lesson after this. So in Heist League, they actually delayed PoE for Cyberpunk 2077, and Cyberpunk actually came out on December 10th. But PoE actually ended up delaying for Shadowlands. Shadowlands came out on November 23rd. And they got really, really lucky with this, because when PoE actually announced the delay, people didn't really know when Shadowlands was actually coming out. But however, I really think that PoE actually got lucky and they were able to delay the league for Cyberpunk and Shadowlands, which actually ended up being a huge, huge success for PoE. And I think they released Ritual. It was Ritual, right? Yeah, Ritual, and it was super, super popular. So very, very actually good job on delaying the league. Now, you can see here that they definitely learned their lessons. So they also want to try to line it up with holiday sales. So holiday sales is a pretty big thing, and having the ability to time when you release the league with when your personnel or employees are able to take the holiday break is a huge thing. So you can see in the past, and we've actually gotten kind of behind on the cycle, because for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years, we've had delays in the last league of the year to the new expansion league. Now, this time around, they are saying that every single league is pretty much an expansion league. We're always going to get some sort of new endgame content, so we don't need to wait for the new league of the year. So that means that in the past, you can see that the leagues have always released at the start of December. So December 13th, 2014, December 11th, 2015, and then you have December 2nd of Breach League in 2016, and then you have December 8th of Abyss League. Then you have December 7th of Betrayal League, and then you had Metamorph League, which was all the way to December 13th. And this was actually an expansion league, I think. And then now you have the Heist League on September 18th. And then Ritual actually ended up coming, I think, in the beginning of February, right? So I do think they really like this window in the first week of December, because usually they take holidays at the end of December, and then they have like a period of time of 2 weeks or so to bug fix the game or bug fix the league. And it really lines up well. So this also allows them to capitalize on holiday sales. A lot of people have more income at the end of the year, and they probably get some Christmas present or early Christmas present. And they're like, wow, time to go spend it on my favorite game. Let me go buy a supporter pack or something. So what do we actually think about all of this? I do think that PoE will probably be delayed. It would be crazy if they actually came out with it at their same release time and they did it at November 25th or December 2nd, because at that point, you're pretty much trying to go head-to-head with WoW, and going head-to-head with WoW is never really a great thing for both parties. Personally, I don't really even know what I'm going to play. I'm probably going to play both games if they come out at the same time. But as you all know, like, PoE is not really a game you can half-ass at the start, because you just make so much money at the start. It's like a snowball effect. Like, if I didn't play PoE hardcore at the start, there's no way I would be able to make a Mage Blood in the first 2 days. It would take me so much longer. But The fun part of PoE is definitely the start of the league economy and trying to figure out the money making methods, trying out the league mechanic, trying to find out new interesting interactions. And you could also say the same thing for any MMO launch. Every single MMO launch is always fun trying to get to the end game first or get to the highest level first, try out the new quests and everything. It's a little bit different in WoW because there's PTR, there's beta tests, so a lot of people already know how the new dungeons are or the new raids are. So a lot of that mystique is kind of gone in WoW. Now, PoE did not delay for Lost Ark and release Arch Nemesis before, but I do think that the reason why they didn't delay it for Lost Ark was people didn't really know when Lost Ark was coming out. I think Lost Ark actually got delayed from its original release date to February 10th. And also because PoE already delayed it once, so they couldn't really actually feasibly delay it again. But I do think if they had that option and they knew when the release date was, I do think they would have tried to avoid Lost Ark. Now, I do also think that this extra time does allow them to put in a little more polish to the final product. Maybe there'll be some more alpha testers. Maybe they can take into account the feedback they're getting and maybe polish up the league. I do think the next league, 3.20, is going to be a crucial juncture in terms of PoE 1's direction. I do think Path of Exile 2 will probably save the game, regardless of however the final product of PoE 1 is turning out. But this is also an interesting case of how GGG will approach future Diablo 4 season releases. As many people here know, Diablo 4 is coming out next year, I think. So Diablo 4 is going to do the same thing as PoE. They do say they want to have 4 seasons a year, I think, and there's going to be a whole ladder reset, and they're going to try to have new content every single season. So it's kind of like PoE. But in the end, it comes down to how is GGG going to approach this? Are they going to try to release it at the same time? Are they going to try to space it out a little bit so us as ARPG fans can enjoy both games at the same time? And it also depends on, is Diablo 4 going to release somewhere close to PoE 2? A lot of people don't really know when PoE 2 is coming out. At this point, I think they confirmed that the beta for PoE 2 is probably coming out next year during like ExileCon, and we can probably see a release of PoE in early 2024. But let me know down in the comments below what you think GGG is actually going to do. If I had to put money on it, I would probably say that there's no chance the league is going to come out during its usual time. I think that they'll probably delay it by 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks before the holidays. I don't think they'll wait until the new year to release the next league, but who knows? Maybe 3.20 will come out on November 25th or December 2nd, and we'll pretty much have to decide which game we'll want to play. But let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on this, and thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you find more mirrors, exalted orbs, mage bloods, and divines to me, and see you next time. Bye!